Guru Rabindranath Tagore visited Iran in 1932. His visit symbolized cultural ties between India and Iran, which have endured even when there were no interstate relations between them. At the time of the poet laureate's visit, India was a British colony. Iran was independent, but still under strong British influence. Guru loved the poems of the known 14th century Persian poet Hafez and visited his mausoleum in Shiraz. With independence and partition, India lost geographical contiguity to Iran. The partition and Pakistan's illegal occupation of the POK also cut off India's access to Afghanistan. This has enhanced Iran's importance to India as a route for reaching Afghanistan, Central Asia, and Russia. Iran and Pakistan attacked each other. First, Iran struck Pakistan. Then, Pakistan responded with retaliatory strikes in several locations across Iran. India responded with a veiled support for Iran, as MEA released a statement saying India understands the need for self-defense. Now, let's get some perspective. The Indian subcontinent borders Iran, and the connection spans thousands of years between the two ancient civilizations. The Persian influence, particularly on language with Urdu words being added in the Hindi vocabulary, and the architecture from Lahore to Agra, in the Mughal period India, are strong remnants of those ties. Prior to that, the migration of the Zoroastrian people fleeing from persecution to Western India made India the permanent home to the world's largest such community, the Parsis. Shortly after Indian independence, India and Iran established formal foreign relations in 1950, but were not off to the best start. What happened next shaped the history of Iran, Pakistan, and India. The foundation of Iran-Pakistan relations was laid down with the birth of Pakistan. Iran became the first country to recognize Pakistan's sovereignty on August 14, 1947. The two countries even signed a treaty of friendship in May 1950. Shah Reza Pahlavi, the Shah of Iran, became the first head of state to visit Pakistan in 1956. Pakistan opened its first embassy in Tehran soon after. When India supported Egypt as the leader of the Arab world, Iran was irked by the idea. Iran found a friend in Pakistan to push forward its position. During the early decades of the Cold War, a non-aligned India supported the Soviet Union while Iran sided with Pakistan. Iran even helped Pakistan with arms and ammunition during its war against India in 1965 and 1971. When Pakistan faced difficulty in sourcing arms after the 1965 war, Iran acted as a dealer by fetching arms from German markets and then delivering them to Pakistan. When Pakistan could not source military hardware from the West, Iran bought many F-86 jet fighters, air-to-air missiles, artillery, and ammunitions from West Germany. Some aircraft were delivered to Pakistan via Iran, while others were home-delivered to Karachi, according to a U.S. intelligence memorandum document. In the 1971 war, Iran provided Pakistan with 12 helicopters and military equipment like artillery, ammunition, and spare parts. Iran also provided Pakistan with oil during the war, at cheaper rates according to a Foreign Relations of the United States document. However, in the last years of the Shah's reign, ties started souring. Despite Iran's support to Pakistan, leaders and ministers from both India and Iran did exchange visits, beginning with Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi's tour of India in 1956. Prime Ministers Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi also visited Iran and were received with honors. In 1974, the Shah of Iran skipped a visit to Lahore for an Islamic conference because Pakistan had invited Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. Iran even jumped Pakistan's request to condemn India for the Smiling Buddha nuclear test in 1974. The Shah of Iran fled to the United States with the Iranian Revolution of 1979. Iran shifted its foreign policy from pro-Western to anti-Western overnight, and Pakistan took the road to sunny ultra-conservatism under Bhutto. Meanwhile, in Pakistan, military dictator General Zia-ul-Haq ousted Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in 1977. Under Zia, Pakistan, which earlier had a Sufi influence, became a hardcore Sunni Islamist nation. The Taliban's rise to power and their radical rule in Afghanistan deepened the rift between Iran and Pakistan. The Taliban's capture of Afghan city of Mazar-e-Sharif and the subsequent massacre of thousands of Shia Muslims in the area in 1998 further soured the Iran-Pakistan relationship. Taliban forces kept attacking, abducting, and killing Iranians too. Iran also saw some diplomats killed by the Taliban. The September 11, 2001 attacks by al-Qaeda against the United States and the subsequent US-led invasion of Afghanistan forced Iran and Afghanistan to rethink their priorities. US sanctions on Iran, and then President George W. Bush, calling Iran the center of the axis of evil, isolated the Iranians. In no time, Pakistan was back to the American side, supporting it against the Taliban. This time too, Pakistan had India on its mind, based on its fairy idea of strategic depth that it would get by allying with the US in Afghanistan. The region of Greater Balochistan houses around 8 to 10 million ethnic Baloch people across both Iran and Pakistan. The Balochis on both sides of the international border share common linguistic and cultural links. The Baloch people in Iran and Pakistan found themselves sidelined by the regime in Tehran and Islamabad. Pakistan's long neglect of Balochistan and Iran's Sistan-o-Balochistan provinces had the region dissatisfied, economically, politically, and culturally. The squeezing out of natural resources without the development of the region was another important factor. A hotbed for insurgency and terrorism was ready. Outfits like Jundullah, Jaish al-Adl, and Ansar al-Furqan popped up in Iran and carried out low-intensity attacks. Pakistan's Balochistan saw 4 uprisings led by Balochis in 1948, 1958-59, 1962-63, and 1973-77. The high-handedness of both Pakistan and Iran saw the killing of thousands over the years in attacks by Baloch separatists. The Balochistan Liberation Army and the Jaish al-Adl continue to operate from their launch pads in Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Ironically, it is the common enemy, the Baloch insurgents, which has caused the war between Iran and Pakistan, who were once. The scale and bitterness between Pakistan and Iran is unlike what has been seen in history. Both are in a military and diplomatic confrontation. The intense Iranian attack and the Pakistani reply that unfolded between the two brings us to a significant low point in the Iran-Pakistan bilateral relations, which were once like one soul in two bodies.